Okay, let's just get the intros out of the way. Hello, fellow simmers. It's Samuel Beamon of BLS here. I'm joined today by Lewis Brown, aka LJ Trainz. Say hello, Lewis.
Hey up, if you can speak right, Sam.
Yes, if I can speak right. So, okay, so straight away, I'm just going to say this now, that this is an utterly wasted opportunity right here. So this is the new ProTrains Class 42 DLC for Trainz or Trainz 22, and it's a wasted opportunity because I literally already, obviously just prior to doing this review, I placed these locomotives down, and literally as soon as I place them down, I hear that they have the Class 35 Hymek sounds from the early 2000s, which, yeah, okay, those Hymek sounds were not too bad. Then I'm not saying that they're bad or nothing, but I mean, come on, man. If you're going to put effort into making a brand new model for Trainz, at least get some new sound recordings. It's wasted. And even though Hymeks have the same engine, well, it has a Maybach engine, you know, and obviously a 42 has a Maybach engine, a Hymek doesn't necessarily sound the same as a Class 42 Warship. So already I know that this is going to be a bit of a disappointment because it's got sounds that are now very dated, and yeah, it's just I'm gutted, absolutely gutted, because it was like, oh yeah, oh, I'm so excited, they've got a new Class 42 Warship model for Trainz, yeah, brilliant, excited. I place it down and all I hear is sounds that are really old. It's ridiculous, it really is. So I'm just gonna, we'll carry on looking at this, Lewis. That's enough ranting about it, because obviously already I just wanted to put that forward before we look into this, that I'm really unhappy with it already, and I think, do you agree with me, in my views?
It definitely would have been nice for some new sound sets, to be honest.
Yeah, I just, I just don't know what to say about that, to be honest. And I know somebody who isn't here right now, who is quite a big fan of the warships, he would be laughing his head off over the fact that this has Hymek sounds from years ago, from like Ultimate Trainz. Like, it's not even 2004, like you're talking Ultimate Trainz, like the very first installment of the game, Oh, come on, guys. Okay, anyway, so moving on, let's have a look around the models, shall we, Lewis? So you get 3 livery variations of the Class 42 in this pack. You get BR Blue, BR Green, small yellow warning panel, and BR Maroon, small yellow warning panel, even though it is actually classed as red for some reason. They haven't even called it by its proper name, they've just gone red. So,
Red.
Yeah, it's red. It's not BR Maroon. But yeah,
could have been worse. They could have done like what Oren did with the 37 and called it Class 42 Yellow. For the blue one.
Wait, did they do that?
Yeah, for the original 37. Don't remember the really old 37. The large logo one was listed as BR Class 37 Yellow.
Or 42, you mean? Yeah.
No, I was on about the 37 then.
Oh, you said 42 a minute ago.
Yeah, because I was making a joke. Doesn't matter. Anyway, moving on.
Alright, yeah. Anyway, yeah, so let's have a look round at the model itself. So, already it has that nice shine to it, which we like. So this is like what all the new models have. They have this like shine where they just sort of shine in the sun, and it does look really quite smart. And you can see the sort of indentation effects look as well, which I do kind of admire for the new models. But one thing I have noticed already, and I dislike it, is the headcode texture, because you've got this lovely crisp high definition model, and then you've just got this piece of shit low quality pixelated crap on there.
It's also the wrong font.
Yeah. I have noticed that. Yeah, you're right, Lewis. Because this one here is just like the one that you would draw on a piece of paper. It's not like, the one where it's just straight down, almost like an eye, isn't it? Where on the head codes, it's not like a one as such. It's like an eye, isn't it? Almost.
Mm.
But obviously, it's not an eye. And obviously, if you try and type I in this and put it as IA41 or something and have it as an I, it just doesn't look right. It just looks terrible. So yeah, head codes terrible. Don't like them. They need looking better than that. It just the whole model looks nice, and then you've just got that. The shape of it.
Let's talk about the model, because actually one thing Will said when I first sent him a screenshot of these was he says it looks like the Beamon model just scanned into Trainz.
Yeah, I must admit the shape does look a bit off. I don't know what it is. Do you think it looks a bit off, the shape of it?
It's hard to explain what it does look like. Yeah, it's interesting.
I mean, I'm just going to put this out there now. This is nothing like the other stuff I've seen in trains in recent times. Some of the newer stuff, like the Class 11 or the Class 70, for example. They were fantastic models. They looked brilliant, didn't they? Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you agree with me on that? They looked great.
Definitely.
This, to be honest, does not look as good as those. There's just something about it that just doesn't look quite right. It doesn't look as good as those. But yeah, so we've got all the pipes there. Look, we've got all of the coupling and the pipes. Although
a bit of weathering on the buffers on that blue one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I mean, the texturing on the buffers look a bit bland, I must say. There's not really much in the means of texturing on the buffers, is there? So these are the clean versions. So you get weathered variants as well, which we'll come on to. But we can see we have all of the lamp irons and stuff present. We've got the marker lights. Well, that's actually a headlight there, and that's the tail light there. That's the interesting thing about the 42s is you've got the headlight there and a tail light there. It's not two tail lights, so that's quite an interesting feature. We have the wipers all present and correct. We have all of the handrails, as we can see. The door looks pretty smart. It's sort of like 3D. We can see sort of inside the door handle there, can't we?
I like the bogies.
Yeah, this is one thing that I do like about the 42s is how that they have the sort of the bogies sort of open, aren't they? They're not like, it hasn't got like a bar or springs over the top of them. You can actually look at the wheels and see that they're actually exposed, aren't they? That's quite an interesting feature of the 42s. And if you look at some of the newer electric multiple units these days, some of them have been inspired by this design, because if you look at something like the Class 700, it too has the sort of wheels exposed just like this. And I believe it's something to do with hydraulics. I think I cannot remember the reason to why the wheels were exposed. Something to do with obviously the braking slightly different, isn't it? These are different. These aren't like normal diesels, are they? They're hydraulics, so they're slightly different.
Western region stuff.
Yes. We do have sort of a.
I was waiting for that to happen, honestly.
We've got the red light, which I assume is from the marker light.
Or
something that is literally shining through the body, which is interesting. Although it's gone now. Oh wait, no, there it is.
Yeah, it's certain angles.
Yeah, we've got all the grills here. Let's have a look around the grills and stuff, shall we? They're all there. I mean, to be fair, they could have been done better and picked out a little bit better, would you say?
No, the fact the 3D is good.
Yeah, the 3D, but they're not picked out very well, are they, on this blue here? I mean, do they look a bit different on the other variants? Nah, still relatively the same, aren't they, on all the rest?
Mm,
The roof looks nice though. We've got
very, very shiny.
yeah, we've got the shiny roof there. We've got the fan, which is 3D as well. You can see
I'm
the grill
assuming
there.
they move. I'm assuming they do.
Well, we'll find out once it's unpaused. We've got a bit of clag there, look. Sort of a ball of clag. We'll see how that performs when we drive the thing. I mean, I can't say I'm hugely excited about driving this because I already know that it's going to have Hymek sounds on it, so it's not exactly going to be the most enjoyable drive. But
can we look at the other side of the bogies?
this side, yeah.
Yeah, I just want to check something.
Okay, let's go over to the maroon one then.
Yeah, right, now go to the other one. Okay, I may be wrong about this because I'm not an expert on these things, but aren't they meant to have like a speedometer thing on one of the wheels?
I was just thinking that. It looks like it's just been cloned on each side. Yeah, there's no speedometer. Oh dear, that's not good, is it?
Yeah, cause I'm just looking at pictures now, and I swear it's meant to have them.
It is, yeah. So that's inaccuracy right there. The grills, like I say, I think these grills, they could have been done better. I've seen better grills in the game, personally. The nameplates, although that they're there, they're not very 3D. They don't look 3D to me. They just look like a 2D plate just shoved on the side of the body. Sort of to match the British Railways logo there. Although that does look quite nice, the British Railways logo. So you've got the sort of the early crest on the maroon version, and then obviously you've got the if I can try and get over to it. Oof. We've got the late crest on the green version, which is there,
and then you've got the arrows.
Yeah, and then you've got the arrows. What's interesting about the blue ones though is that for some reason the blue one doesn't have a nameplate. I don't know if that was an actual thing. As far as I'm aware, I'm pretty sure all warships had nameplates, even blue ones. So I don't know if that's right or not. But yeah, it seems that the blue ones don't have nameplates for some reason.
From what I can see from all these pictures, it looks like... Okay, not all of them did. Most did, not all of them, from what I can see.
Oh, right.
Okay. So you may have just picked one that didn't have one.
Fair dues. What's 802, and then the one over here, 820, doesn't have one either. But that's the weathered one, obviously. But yeah, I mean, the overall models, it's okay. It's not the best I've seen in the game. I've seen better, newer models than these. And as I say, I just don't like the texturing on these head code boxes here. I don't know whether it's something to do with my options, you know, like if I have any like something turned down, you know, like maybe it's like under like a scenery item or something. I don't know, because I know that I did lower some of the settings on my end, so I'm not too sure on that front. But I mean, looking at the photo you sent, Lewis, to be honest, it looks just like that. So I think that is legit. You know.
I've got a picture I'm going to send you real quick of a weathered blue one that we can compare to the actual weathered one. I thought that'd be quite cool. That's also the one that doesn't have a name. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so if we head over to the weathered ones, we can sort of have a look. But yeah, these, to be honest with you, I really like the weathered ones.
Especially that blue one. It looks really good.
Yeah, I think this sort of, if anything, this looks better than the clean variants, to be fair. I think it makes it look more realistic. It picks out the detail a little bit more. The grills even have a bit of weathering on there as well, which does, again, you know, that, to be honest with you, makes the grills look a bit better, having that sort of weathering in there, because it picks out the detail more. Because as I say, the problem with these grills is the detail isn't picked out very well, so you can't really see it, you know, it's a bit bland. But on stuff like this, that looks a hell lot better, doesn't it? But we've got all the streaking, like the rain streaking in there as well, which is very prototypical and looks really nice.
Roof is significantly less claggy looking.
Yeah, it sort of has a bit of some indentations here as well, which I don't think is on the clean version. Is it on the clean version like that? It is.
It's a bit more like, yeah, it's a bit more.
It's more
denty.
shiny.
Yeah.
I quite like how they've done that, where they've
Yeah.
sort of.
To be fair, the shine on that one, the weathered one, looks a lot better than the shine on the clean one.
Well, yeah. Well, obviously, it'd be more shiny on the clean one than it would.
I know,
on
but
the
just
weathered
that
one, but...
in the Trainz shine, I was never a massive fan of it on anything that was really clean. But that, how it's kind of smooth shine, is a lot better than the high speckly shine that you get on the clean ones.
I mean, these look brilliant, don't they? Because something about the grey, it just you see the weathering more on the grey than you do on this blue roof, don't you?
Mhm.
And as you say, yeah, the shine looks a bit more realistic.
Yeah, just compare them to the clean ones, and you can see it'll be a lot more speckly.
Yeah. I can see why they've done the clean one like that though, because it's clean, isn't it? But quite often you would see this though, because you've got more of a shine on the body there, which is very realistic. Yeah, on the actual paintwork itself. But quite often on roofs and stuff, it's more of a matte colour, isn't it? And I like how they've done that.
Do you know what I like? I've just seen
What's that?
the window surrounds. They're weathered very nicely.
Oh yeah, look. Yeah, that's nice. Although to be fair though, I can't really see how high quality that is when I'm zoomed in, because for some reason Trainz has this odd thing, like when you zoom right in, it blurs it out slightly, doesn't it? Does yours have that?
Yes, it's done it ever since Trainz 19.
I mean, I get why they've done it, because obviously if you look at an object in real life close up to your face, it does blur, you know?
Well, yeah, unless you focus on it. We've had this conversation before.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think we've had it off camera before, haven't we?
Yeah.
But yeah. No, these look really nice. Again, though, the head code boxes are a bit of a letdown. But yeah. So, model-wise, I think we can both agree it looks okay, but it's not the best, is it? It's not the best we've seen, is it?
We'd need an expert on these to talk about them, to be honest.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, I've seen 42s in real life. You probably have, haven't you? And
one, I think, and that happened to be Onslaught.
Well, yeah, exactly. So you know, you can kind of picture what they're supposed to look like, and if you look at the photos and stuff, you can see what they're supposed to look like. And do these look correct to you? Because to me, I don't know. They are slightly off. I can see that by looking at the photo you sent me there. Especially the blue one, it just looks slightly off. I don't know whether it's too tall or something, but it's
I don't know.
just...
I said I've not seen a real warship in real life since 2015, so
Yeah, I don't know. I just personally I feel these don't look as good as some of the other models we've had in the game. I just don't think it does. And obviously I think it's wasted on the sounds. I think the sounds really do let this down, because as I say, if you're going to do a new model, you've got to do new sounds, because you put all this work into making this nice new model and everything, and you've got sounds from the early 2000s. I mean, what the fuck? I'm sorry.
Language.
I'm sorry.
There might be children watching.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, but it is a WTF moment, because you're charging? How much is this? This pack?
It's like $19.99, so that's about 17 quid.
Yeah, so you're charging about 17 quid for this, right? And you don't even have any new sounds. All it basically is just a new model. That's it. Everything else we've seen before, you know? Which, personally, I don't think is very good value for money. You know? That's just me personally, my thoughts on it. Anyway, let's move over to driving it.
Let's go look at the cab and all that and stuff.
Let's unpause the game and get to it.
Ah, yes, listen to that.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, so this is D832 Onslaught, which is quite prototypical because, you know, it's a preserved engine, isn't it?
Let's get the cab and then we'll look at that.
Yes. Okay. So I'm really pleased that they've done a custom cab, to be honest, because I know that old models that were done by, I think, was it TMZ who did the really old ones?
No, it was Pikabird.
Okay, yeah. So the old ones by Pikabird, they didn't have a custom cab or nothing, and they had the EMD engine sounds, didn't they? From like the HST, or no, it wasn't even the HST, was it? It's from the American locos,
the default American sound set.
Yeah, the default American sound set, but the HST from the original game also had the same sound set, didn't it?
Apart from the Midland Mainline ones, that was really weird how they did that, but you know.
Yeah, so I'm glad that they've done this.
It is very clean, and I have just firstly, why does that seat look like it's made of concrete? It does, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. It does. It does. It looks like one of the stone seats you get on, on like a statue or something, can it?
Yeah. I was thinking, this is so clean. Probably not, but you gotta wonder, does the weathered version have a weathered cab?
Yeah. Should we go and have a quick look at that before
yeah,
going more into
probably
that?
not. It's probably not, but there's always a chance. Yeah, no.
No, it's exactly the same to me.
Yeah, it's the same. It could have done though.
But yeah, it looks. I'll give them credit for this. I'm glad that they've done a custom cab. Do we have anything that we can do in here? Yes. Oh yes. Look, we can open and close the windows. I like features like that. Does
Is
the
it
other one open?
No. Is it open when you look outside?
Yes, it is. Okay, that's pretty cool.
That.
That's a good feature. I like that. Is anything else open and close? Do we have opening and closing doors? Nope.
I can see some clipping issues. Like you can see the cab just kind of ends, and you can see through it.
Whereabouts is that?
Towards between the door and the window.
Ah, yes.
Well, yeah, that, but more towards the window.
Yeah, see, the Class 70 had this weird texture issue, didn't it? Some of the new models do.
It's the lighting. It's the lighting thing. Yeah, can you see it? Just the window.
Oh.
Yeah, can you see it there?
Oh yeah, that's a bit of a problem. Whoever made this model, I hope you're taking note.
Oh dear.
And this is only. Just remember, whoever is watching this is a brutally honest review to us alone. Other people might think differently, but this is a personal opinion to me and Lewis. So anything we say, it's our opinions, And
you
don't
can roast us.
Well, yeah, exactly. Don't roast us, and you can take it on board, or you hate it.
Or you can ignore it.
Yeah, exactly.
Do the visors come down?
Okay, that's cool. Look at that.
It'd be nice if only one of them came down, because I doubt you'd do it with both hands at the same time.
Yeah, although we do have a clipping problem there, look.
Oh dear.
It clips through the roof before coming down. But it's cool that they're there, but mind you, that is pretty cool, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I quite like that. Right, so let's have a look at the cab views, because obviously these are the little... obviously we can actually move around the cab, because we've got free cam on, but just the views between the two brackets. Let's have a look. So we've got one that goes further back in the seat.
That's like leaning back,
Yeah. We've got one from just next to this seat, looking over there, which looks pretty cool. We've got sort of standing up and looking straight out of the window almost. We've got sat in the second man's chair, and then it's back again. Okay, so not too many views. It would have been nice if we could have a lean out view.
Well, this is where we need to check if the body actually is on the outside.
What if we lean out with the free cam?
And we'll see if the body's on. Oh, it's blue.
It is, but it's blue, and yeah. Okay, we can just
just go back in.
Go back in. Pretend that never happened. Okay, so I think we've had a good look round the cab now, don't you reckon?
Any switches that move like cab lights and all that?
It would be nice to know what they do. Is that the lights at the front? Oh dear. Okay. I don't know. Let's have a look.
Some of them should be labelled.
Yeah, so that does the lights. Okay, these aren't labelled, Lewis. I don't know what they do. Oh, okay, that's the
Oh, it
wiper.
says
Okay, that's pretty cool. Do they
that
work?
animate.
Hey! Now that I like. They work on the outside. Now that's something.
Do you know what I like?
Hmm.
It's not like, right, it's hard to explain this. It's not like the main arm and the actual wiper part is like just solid together. Each part moves individually, if you notice.
Yeah, and also there's like a slight judder which makes it look like it's worn out slightly, doesn't it? Which is pretty cool. But now this is something as well though that I really like about this, because a lot of Trainz models, you do the wipers in the cab and they work and everything, but then you look on the outside of the model and they don't work, like they're not moving. So it's quite unrealistic. But on this model, it does it.
My next question is, turn them on and we'll go see if they're on at the back.
Oh yeah.
A classic sort of train sim thing.
No. Okay, that is cool. So it only does it in the cab that you're in, basically.
Or whichever switch you're in, I suppose. Whichever one you've switched on.
I like that. That's a good feature. Oh, what is with these cameras, man? They're so sensitive on the mouse. Not like Train Sim.
Yep. Welcome to Trains.
Can you stop it in certain positions and it does it on the outside? Ah, yes, that's cool. So you can stop it in certain positions and it does it, you know, as it should.
There's some like writing there above the gauges. Is that readable?
Yes. Speed do not exceed 90 miles per hour. There we are.
There's one above like that brass looking gauge thing.
To obtain train pipe vacuum reading, ATC must be in use before leaving cab. Ensure ATC is not in use. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And we've got a bit of a shine on the gauges, which is pretty cool as well. What do these other switches do?
Seemingly not much.
Just there for showing it. I mean, one of these has got to do a cab light, surely. Okay, the rest don't seem to do naught, so...
Nope.
I take it that's a horn, isn't it?
Well, are we gonna do the horn now? Oh no, you just you know.
Open and close the window, see? Yeah. Well, there's a horn here, obviously, as well. But that's the second man's horn, but it's obviously not usable.
It's also made of concrete.
Yeah, so this would be the light switch. So that would be the light switch for the markers. But for some reason the light isn't working.
Do you reckon it like only works
I've got the lights on and...
Do you reckon it only works at night?
Possibly. Okay, so let's just release our brake. Let's see how this drives, because it has its own engine spec, doesn't it? So it might drive quite nicely.
I want to hear the horn.
Oh, here we go then. Yeah, it's just as I suspected.
It's nostalgic.
It's the Hymek horn. It's literally, these sounds are completely recycled from the Hymek, which is just a letdown. I've actually got Class 42 horns, which I haven't uploaded to the DLS actually yet, but they could have been useful for this. So, you know, whoever's watching this, if you are a maker of this model or you've been, you know, working with this model, I do have some Warship sounds. I don't have the engine sounds, but I have the horns, and if you want to use them for this, then to update it, then go ahead, you can use them. I honestly do not mind, and I think it will improve it over than having old Hymek sounds, but that's just my opinion. But
yeah, I'm just looking. Developer 3D Zug. That's the guy's name.
That's the guy's name. Okay, yeah. So 3D Zug is watching this. Then, if you're interested or need any hand with sounds, you can always drop us a message, because we do sounds for trains, and we can help out instead of, you know, you having to use the old sounds, you know. Anyway, let's get to driving it, shall we, Lewis?
Mm-hmm.
So let's see how it drives. So a toot on the Hymek horn, and off we go. I mean, to be fair, I'd rather them use the Hymek sounds than something like an EMD engine, you know?
Yeah, or like the Alco engine sounds.
Yeah. Oh, we got a bit of a cut there, but remember, guys, these sounds are really old. Like, these are from like the early 2000s, and for their time, these were actually really good. And I would say that these are probably some of the more better retro sounds of Trainz. Would you say so, Lewis?
Yeah, definitely.
Because there are some pretty bad sounds out there for Trainz, but these ones are not overly too bad. And I can see why he's used them. But it would have been...
Yeah.
But it would have been nice if he would have recorded some new sounds for it. At least put the effort in to record new sounds, you know, if you're making this. Especially for the price you pay for this. I mean, Christ, you know? So, impressions of how it drives. It's pretty alright. It's not too fast on the acceleration. Obviously, it'd be nice to find out how it brakes, so we'll do that in the next station, won't we? Right, we can open it up a bit now and have a listen. Let's go outside.
Past Aldi.
So I'm just speeding slightly because I wanted to listen to that. It's got quite fast acceleration, I must admit. But yeah, no, the sounds, they're not the worst. But it's not. But as I say, I would rather have it had its own sounds, especially for the price. And I think that, I mean, this thing is a brilliant opportunity. It's great to see new diesels being made for this game, you know? But I think it's wasted on poor sounds. And, you know, these new models need new sounds, realistically. Because it's like, you know, it's like DTG or something, you know, Dovetail Games on Trainz Sim World. If they're just going to recycle old sounds from like the early 2000s, it's like, what's the point? You know, we're all here to see the next big thing, you know, the next new thing. These old sounds, they don't really live up to nowadays standards, you know? Because they're old, you know? Also, if anyone is wondering about the route, this is the Duckham Railway route, which you've done most of this upgrade on, haven't you, Lewis? Because this was an old route done by me, and you've basically done most of the work upgrading it, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's a route that's it's still in progress, and I know I've said, oh, it'll be out soon, but no, it's had a few more bits added, hasn't it?
Well, it's got to the point with the route where it's like, well, is there much else to add, kind of, you know?
Well, we started adding a mainline section now, ain't you?
Yeah, there is that. Which is that on your version?
No, I don't think so.
Sure.
I don't think I got the latest version. Oh, we've got another train making noise up here. But
no, yes, it's the yak.
Yes.
Everyone likes that. You can just tell by the signal if you've got a clear route.
Oh yeah,
that's what signals are for.
Yeah. Why? Because you saw I was like looking at the junction ahead, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, well, the signal tells it. You don't see that in real life. You don't see drivers come. Just hang on, sorry. I know the signal's displaying clear. Let me just walk up and just go have a manual look to see if the points are set.
I like this, like what you've done here. Now, fun fact, I didn't really like this idea of having this here, did I, at first? Having this side in here, but to be honest, it's grown on me, so...
Well, you know the only reason why it's there, well, the obvious reason to have more storage sidings is because the semaphore arms back there had a shunt signal that would go into a siding like that, and I was like, nah, I'm gonna put a siding in there.
Because it's just in it because you think it just looks wrong, yeah. I did quite like how you put the bag over the signal though. That's the thing, you know.
Well, that's back at Pride Way if you noticed it on the redundant shunt that's on that one. Also, a good way to tell how outdated this route is, if this semaphore thing here has no identification plate, then it's an old route.
Like this?
Yeah, it's got no ID plate on it.
Oh, you put ID plates on all of them now, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah, not just place the signals down, got the whole ID thing for what signal box is controlling them, so that one will be like Pride Yard 2 or whatever, you know.
Do you know, one thing I have noticed though, that throttle lever looks far too small. So does that reverser, like, I don't think it should look like that. I think it should be more bigger and chunkier than that, you know? But yeah, that's interesting. One thing I have noticed with Trainz 22, and I wonder if anyone else is having this experience, is that echo sound. So you've got the audio is really weird on Trainz 22, and I think N3V games need to improve it. But you've got like this echo sound, so it's just constantly playing this sort of echoey sound, and you can't get rid of it or change it. It's really annoying. So if they can just like, you know, change that, that would be brilliant. Like, because if you go back into Trainz 2019, listen to the noise, it's fine and stuff, you know. But if you listen to this, it's like it's really echoey, man. I don't like what they've done with the audio in this game.
That's why I don't plan on switching to Trainz 22 anytime soon.
Oh, there you go then. You know, let's fix it. But yeah, can you hear it? It's a slight echo. You know, it's always on everything.
Play it again. Yeah.
But yeah, I've noticed that this brakes very well, actually, to be fair. This is actually really good at braking. Look, you only need to do...
Station.
Yeah, I love this station. It's my favourite one in it. But yeah, you only need a slight sort of movement on the brake and it starts to slow down, and that's a good thing, because it makes it easier to drive, to be fair. See? Although I probably have... I probably should have went further down a little bit, but you know.
Yeah, you've gotten like one coach that I think you can open the doors on.
It does drive quite nicely, I must admit. I'll give it that.
I love how the clag is just like not on the roof anymore.
Oh yeah. What is that? Is that like a Trainz thing?
It does that when you're next to an object. It does that to try and replicate you being in like basically something blocking its way, but obviously there's nothing there, so it's a bit buggy. It's a good idea, it's just not implemented well.
Let's have a look at it leave the station with this guy with his camera, shall we? Yo. Right. Off we go. Ah, we got some wheel slip.
Right, it is going into uphill this bit.
Ah yes, here we are on the uphill bit, look.
The one uphill bit on the whole line.
Yeah, this... I mean, it's a nice line. You know, it's quite flat, but...
Yeah, but that's how you did it. That's how you originally did it.
Yeah.
If anything, I've made this climb up here a bit steeper, to be honest.
Yeah, it's quite a good climb, to be fair. Yeah, because you redid this whole cutting, didn't you?
Yeah.
At first I was a bit like, oh god, what is he doing? But then I was like, okay, he's done a good job.
Yeah, because you seem to be under the impression that if you did something, you can't change it easily.
So what do you think of the sounds and that?
It's what I've already heard before, and as you said, they're not too bad, but obviously they're outdated, obviously.
So is this DLC that you would buy, Lewis?
No, honestly. I mean, I can't anyway because it's for Trainz 22. But
even if you had Trainz 22, you wouldn't be tempted with it.
Not really, especially for the price.
You're basically, what you're doing is you're just paying for the model. That is literally it. There's nothing else new about this. You're paying for the model and the physics, the way it drives. That is literally all you're paying for. The whole rest of it is just original sounds from ages ago, isn't it?
Yep.
Which I don't think is worth 17 quid or whatever the hell it is in UK pounds, you know?
It's $19.99, whatever that translates to.
Which I think is around, as you say, £17, maybe 15, you know, but
Something
still,
like that.
Something like this, to be honest, you'd be struggling to push even $11.99 for it, you know. It is quite overpriced for what it is. I mean, don't get me wrong, it has some lovely features, you know, like the window wipers moving and you know, the opening and closing windows and stuff like that.
The weathered versions.
Yeah. It has some nice features, and it's great to have a new model of it in Trainz because we have needed one for so long because the old one was terrible.
It is better than the old model.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I mean, the old one wasn't. Okay, I said the old one was terrible. That's being a bit unfair. The old one was good for its time. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think 2002 that one was released.
Yeah, because I mean that's being unfair. Because for its time it was brilliant, but you know, it's great to have something new now. But it's just a shame that it's still got sounds from like ages ago. You would think something new would have new sounds and pretty much new everything, wouldn't you? Right, we're going to accelerate onwards to Ducking Castle. So off we go. So, acceleration wise, it's pretty good. So we're on a rake of 5, aren't we? There.
Yep.
So it's not really taking this like with too much ease.
Well, that's interesting. I've just looked. It says it's compatible with Trainz 19 SP5.
Oh, so you can get this for Trainz 2019.
If my version is SP5, which I'm guessing it is. Again, not that I would, but there we go. Apparently you can do it on Trainz 19.
There you go then. But would you be tempted with buying it for Trainz 19?
I've already said no.
And
unless it had a new sound set and everything.
Yeah. This is the problem, and it goes for all of this new stuff that's coming out. The issue is the sounds. As far as I know, all of the new models that have come out for Trainz don't have any new sound sets whatsoever.
70, 68.
Apart from those. So, the Class 11, the Tornado, which I did do a review on, but sadly it didn't record properly. I will have to redo that. Tornado has new whistle sounds, but the main engine sounds are exactly the same as the Settled Carlisle Gresley. The Class 11, same sounds as the 08 that we've had for years. 42, same sounds as the Hymek we've had for years. So really, you know, the 70 and 68 are better value for money, but unfortunately they're not, because when you listen to the sounds of them, if you go over to my reviews on those, you'll hear that the sounds are actually broken or not that great. So it is a massive issue in Trainz, is the sounds, isn't it, Lewis?
Yeah,
You know?
to be fair, I think the best new loco we've got is the 70.
Yeah.
Strictly for the fact the model, looking at it, is like almost perfect. With the 68, it's too rounded and stretched, etc. Which, again, that's just how it is.
Yeah. Well,
no offense to who made it.
3D Zug again. But yeah, no, 68, that was a bit of a letdown because the sounds are broken on it. You know, you're paying money and the sounds are corrupted and broken on it. That needs fixing, guys. That needs, and I cannot stress this enough, that needs fixing, you know, because that's going to get you a lot of angry customers, you know.
The 68 sounds were actually quite good. It's just
they're really good. The 68 sounds are really good, but there's one notch in particular. I think it's notch 3, isn't it, where it's corrupted and it has a gap, and like for like 30 seconds or so you have no sound. That needs fixing.
It goes static.
Yeah, it needs fixing, especially when you're paying money. 70, brilliant. The first couple of notches were good, but as I say, when it got further up to the, you know, more further notches, you know, to full handle and stuff, the quality of the sound was not as good as the lower notches. But apart from that, the model and everything was brilliant, you know.
Yep.
But as I say, I do think one of the things that will improve content in Trainz is sounds, but for definite, because a lot of them are severely outdated now. Right, so we'll get to Ducken and then we'll start to wrap up, won't we? What our thoughts? Okay.
You're starting to rap.
Yes.
Yeah. Tell you what we could talk about. What we'd like to see next.
I would personally...
Other than a 33.
Okay. Well, I would personally love to see a 33, a new model with the sound set I've made for Trainz on it, because that would be brilliant. Same with a Class 25 or a 26, you know, some of the Souls are Type 2s. That would be brilliant. I've actually got a new Class 25-3 engine sound set coming out very soon on the download station, which could be useful to anyone who's making a 25 model. So if anyone wants to use it when it's up on the download station, you can.
There is, isn't there?
Apparently someone is making one. I've heard rumours that someone is making one.
There's not been any updates in that though for a long time.
No.
So who knows?
But, like I say, I've got sounds for it, so if anyone wants to use them, then you're more than welcome to. You know? That's what I do it for.
Believe it or not.
Yeah, I just sit there hoping that they get some use, you know, onto something, you know, something new. It's all well and good me placing them on all the old models for personal use and stuff, but I'd like to see them, you know, being used by other people, you know, because I put a lot of work into those, you know. So... this is a lovely scene, Lewis. I must say what you've done here on the route. I love coming in here.
That's like from the first incarnation of Ducken that's been there.
Yeah, but I mean, just like when you come in to Ducken like this from the cab, it does look really nice, doesn't it? You know, we've got the bus depot over there, look.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Yeah, you love my bus route, don't you?
No.
Oh, but it adds a better multiplayer aspect to it. If you had like a group of players, like you could get like a big amount of players to play this route, it would be brilliant on multiplayer, wouldn't it? Because there's lots to do on it.
Yep.
That spool down was quite nice there, that spool down sound there, did you hear it?
Yep.
As I say, it's not the worst sound in the world, it's just old, isn't it? And it's not 100% correct for a Class 42 because they do sound a bit different to a Hymek in real life. And the horn is completely different in real life to a Hymek, so this, yeah, that's not right.
Not the perfect representation.
Nope. Oh blimey, it's 6:30. I shall have to go for a walk to the shop after this review.
What, get some Pringles?
Yeah, I'll get some Pringles and some bits and pieces for dinner.
Well, what I'd like to see in Trainz, to be honest, you'd think I'm going to say 37, but unless you can get the shape perfect, I don't want to see it.
Well, you had the SRS did it, didn't they? They did a...
Yeah, and the split box one wasn't too bad, it's just the centre box one. It seems no one can get a centre box 37 right.
Also, doesn't it have the wrong horns? It doesn't have the horns on top of the cab.
Yeah, it doesn't have the wrong horns, it just doesn't have any horns.
So it hasn't even been modelled.
Yeah, they've done the split box one first, evidently, and then just swapped out the nose, and it was like, yep.
Yeah. I mean, the SRS, the split box SRS one's pretty good. I mean, it drives pretty horrendous though. It like shoots off like a rocket, doesn't it?
Very, very powerful.
Yeah, a bit overpowered. Isn't it?
So, honestly, what I'd like to see is a 20.
Oh yes, that would be good. Yeah, actually, if anyone's watching this, if you're going to do a 20, I've got sounds for it.
Multiple, actually, so...
yeah, do it.
You know, if you're going to do a head code box one and a disc version, you can have with 2 different sound sets.
Yeah, so you can pair them up and they'll both sound different, which is cool. Okay, so here we are at Ducken. We'll pause the game and we'll, you know, get our bearings and put our thoughts across a bit. I have just noticed we do have some warning flashes on this warship, look, which are, to be honest, they're quite dull, aren't they, really?
Well, I suppose over time they'd get completely faded and all that.
Yes, I suppose that is quite accurate, isn't it? We also have this little dot here, which, to be honest, I actually don't know what that's for, but it's there.
It serves a purpose, obviously.
Yeah. But I mean, it does look quite good in this lighting, though. Here, doesn't it? Like you can see all the detail on the bogies now. Look.
Yeah, all the nice weathering.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Just break dust, you know.
That does look smart, doesn't it?
Because that's what it'll be, just a load of brake dust.
So it does have some nice texturing on it, doesn't it?
Yep.
It really does. And the model isn't awful. It really isn't. Like I say, I don't think it's 100%. And as I say, I don't think it's necessarily as good as some of the other stuff I've seen in Trainz recently. But it is nice to have a new 42, because the old one was obviously really old and dated, and I wasn't. It was old. It wasn't terrible. It's just old, you know. And it was great to see some new ones in here.
Leave it at that before you offend someone.
Yeah, I don't want to offend anybody. I'm just saying the truth. It was old. It's not terrible. It's old. So anyone watching this, I don't think it's terrible, you know. It's just old.
That was back to when you said it was terrible.
Yeah, you got to be careful with what you say in the Trainz community, because, you know, some people take it quite, you know, literal.
Moving on.
Yeah. Anyway, overall thoughts, Lewis. What do you think?
Decent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to see it. Shame about the sounds. I think that's because I'm going to be honest. That pissed me off. I'm just being honest, because you've put all this work in this brand new model, and you haven't gone to the effort to try and source new sounds from somebody, or even go and get new sounds. And yet, I'm having to pay a lot of money for this, you know. and I think it's a shame. And as Lewis said, he would buy this if it had decent sounds, wouldn't you? You know,
I'd be tempted.
Exactly. You know, and you know, at the end of the day, you know, you gotta respect the customers and the customer wishes, and obviously what they think would improve it, and something like that would improve this, and it will persuade people to want to buy this more. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my thoughts on it. It's good. I'm glad to see a new model of Warship in the game, but it's, again, sounds let it down, and that's one of the big problems that I have with the newer models in the game is the lack of new sounds, and we're still having to deal with the old sounds from the early 2000s, which is like 20 odd years ago now. You know.
Crazy that Trainz has been around for that long.
Well, yeah. 2000, I think the first one came out, wasn't it?
I had no idea. The first one I got was 2004, so...
I reckon, I believe it was 2000, so you're talking 23 years now. So...
Which, considering they're still going and they're still making new stuff for it, like, you know...
That's pretty good. Anyway, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this review. As I say, this is personal opinions, so we're just sharing our thoughts on it. You know, you're either going to like our review or you're going to hate it at the end of the day. But this is our opinion to us alone. We think that it's a nice model and it just needs new sounds. So yes, this has been Samuel Beamon of British Locomotive Studios and Lewis Brown of British Locomotive Studios, 2 BLS members. And
you're so happy with yourself, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm so happy, so proud to say that. Yes. It's brilliant to finally do a video that's not just on my own, you know, because I tend to...
I'll be around. There's one video I'm definitely going to be around for, certain Route 1 for TS.
Oh yes, I know what that one is. That'll be, yeah, I'll do that with you. But yeah, so thank you for watching, guys. It's been Samuel Beamon and Lewis Brown of BLS, and this has been a review on the new 3D Zug ProTrains Class 42 Warship DLC. And yeah, we'll see you guys soon. So goodbye for now.
Bye-bye.